Good afternoon. I'm Laura Garcia. So happy to be here. Thank you for joining us today. The 51st Annual Volunteer Recognition Luncheon, held in February of 2020, was one of the last events that we were able to attend in person. We're close to being able to gather again, but we're not quite there just yet. So we appreciate you joining us virtually to honor a fantastic group of devoted volunteers in our community. The Volunteer Recognition Luncheon is a time-honored junior league tradition that endures, pandemic or not, and one that NBC Bay Area enjoys really being a part of. Today marks the Junior League of San Jose's 52nd time hosting this event as we spotlight nominees who really make a difference through their volunteerism and whose dedication and commitment to excellence help to really shape our community. Junior League of San Jose members aim to create an event worthy of the exceptional individuals who are recognized through this year's event. Although it's virtual, the goal, of course, remains the same. Once again, it's an honor to be your MC as we celebrate our community's most outstanding volunteers. I can say without hesitation, the Junior League of San Jose recognizes some of the best volunteers in our community, and it is amazing every year to hear all these great stories of what they've accomplished. Today, you'll get a chance to hear firsthand about the work that they're doing and all the people that they're helping and the powerful difference that they're really making in our community every single day. Active members of the league are not eligible to be nominated, yet they still give 27,000 hours of volunteer service to our community every year. We're so thankful for that. And as we honor our award recipients today, I want to acknowledge the Junior League of San Jose members and their commitment to volunteerism. Before we begin honoring our Crystal Bowl winners, we're going to hear from the president of the Junior League of San Jose, Victoria Kroll.
Thank you, Laura. It's wonderful having you as our MC again. We also recognize you and your role as a volunteer for so many of our Volunteer Recognition Luncheon events. Thank you to NBC Bay Area for their continued support of the Junior League. I'm Victoria Kroll, the 54th president of the Junior League of San Jose. We are so excited to be hosting our 52nd annual Volunteer Recognition Luncheon. This is one of my most favorite events. Many others in the Junior League and our community feel the same way. The Volunteer Recognition Luncheon celebrates the work and achievements of community volunteers and their organizations. This event gives them just a little bit of the recognition they deserve. On behalf of the entire Junior League of San Jose, thank you for joining us today. Your participation shows your commitment to volunteerism and all it brings to our community. Since its inception, the Volunteer Recognition Luncheon has honored over 6,000 volunteers throughout our community. It's an honor to recognize the great work being done here and to celebrate some of our local volunteer heroes. The Junior League of San Jose has over 540 members, all of whom are volunteers. We are one of 295 leagues in 4 countries in the Association of Junior Leagues International, founded in 1901. Though each league has its own specific focus area in their respective community, we are all devoted to one 3-part mission: promoting volunteerism, developing the potential of women, and improving the community through the effective action and leadership of trained volunteers. We are celebrating our 54th year of service in Santa Clara County and are currently focused on improving the outcomes of foster youth, specifically in supporting their successful transition out of foster care. We are grateful to partner with key nonprofits, including Pivotal, First Place for Youth, and the Bill Wilson Center. I would now like to recognize our Volunteer Recognition Luncheon chairs, Julie Paulson and Sharon Boyce-Bender, for their leadership and dedication to organizing our first ever virtual luncheon. Thank you to you and the entire Volunteer Recognition Luncheon team for the outstanding job in preparation for today.
Good afternoon. My name is Julie Paulson, and with me is co-chair Sharon Boyce-Bender, also a friend of mine. We're honored to serve as co-chairs for this heartwarming event and want to thank you for tuning in.
We applaud this year's winners. What you accomplish every day makes our community a better place. Today, we'll be left inspired and eager to make our own contributions to our community.
We would like to take the time to thank everyone who made this event possible. Our committee of dedicated members have been working for more than 6 months to move this event to an online format.
We want to extend our sincerest thanks to our family and friends outside of the Junior League. We cannot do this without your continued support.
And we'd like to thank all the agencies that have taken the time to recognize their volunteers by submitting nominations to this event. Thank you.
We would also like to thank our president, Victoria Krall, for all of your support. Thank you.
A big shout out to the sponsors of today's event.
The Valley Foundation, Warmenhoven Family Foundation, Farrington Historical Foundation,
Laura and Max Dugan, the Lo Cicero family, Jennifer and Mike Cretella,
JLSJ Board of Directors, Heather Bowshears, Julie and Craig Paulson. Without their generous support, today would not be possible.
And we'd also like to give special thank you to Laura Garcia for being our MC today at our 52nd Volunteer Recognition Luncheon, and NBC Bay Area, our longtime partners and all-around fabulous sponsors.
Thank you, Laura. Now back to you.
It's always such an inspiring event that I enjoy year after year. I'm delighted to be here. Every year, the response to the call for nominations is really incredible, and we'd like to acknowledge and thank all those people who wanted to recognize their volunteers' hard work by submitting their nominations. And a special shout out as well to the family members, friends, mentors, and others who support these amazing volunteers so they can share their time with our community. We'd also like to thank the fabulous judges who took the time to read all the nominations and to determine our Crystal Bowl winners and Volunteerism at its Best Award winners. Over 70 passionate people were nominated to receive special recognition for their dedicated volunteer efforts. Through the endeavors of each and every one of these individuals, our community is a better place. Thank you for all that you have done and continue to do. The Junior League of San Jose honors each one with a certificate of appreciation. It recognizes the time and energy invested in helping others. And while we can't honor them in person this year, those certificates will be received via mail in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for those. In a few moments, we're going to hear the stories of 11 outstanding individuals today who are making an incredible impact while serving our community. A professional film crew had to be sent out each year in the past to film all their stories, but just like we've all been accustomed to, they're being told this year through Zoom. The 2021 Volunteer Recognition Luncheon Crystal Bowl winners will receive a beautifully engraved crystal bowl from Tiffany & Company. Let's take a look at one now. They're always so gorgeous. Each year we present the winners with this crystal bowl in that distinctive Tiffany blue box. Very stunning. Now, in addition to the Crystal Bowl, the Junior League of San Jose will be presenting a $500 stipend to their respective agencies and organizations. Our winners really support a variety of needs in our community. Several of our winners show us their passion for improving the lives of children, while others choose to help people in our community who are facing tragic life events and maybe some hard times, all having that same goal in mind. They want to make a difference in our community. Let's celebrate these wonderful people now. Nancy Boyle, Eating Disorders Resource Center.
So my name is Janice Bremis, and I'm Executive Director of the Eating Disorders Resource Center. We want people to recognize that schizophrenia, bipolar, anxiety, depression, those are all mental illnesses, but eating disorders is a mental illness. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't block it with the same other illnesses. So my goal is to help raise awareness about it, and to do that through education. Also, our goal is to help patients who are struggling and their families. And it's important to get support with any mental illness. It's the community, the support that you get that makes it key to recovery.
At the time when I had several family members suffering from severe eating disorders, I found that there were no resources or support for loved ones of eating disorders. It was all like I was the only one in Santa Clara County dealing with these issues and nowhere to go for information. When Janice asked me if I was willing to open up a family support group, I was more than happy to volunteer. I really saw the need for a group that can be a place of comfort for family members and parents of kids with eating disorders.
So Nancy brings a lot of hope to the families who are struggling, and that's what they appreciate about her, and that's what I appreciate. She's always positive, you can recover, and she just goes the extra mile. I tell parents that, you'll want to meet Nancy because then you'll feel good once you meet her. You'll want to go to the support group because you'll want to meet her and
get the hope that she gives.
Nancy is our support group leader. She leads the Saturday morning Family and Friends support group. They meet twice a month, and she's been our longest serving volunteer. She's been with us since 2007 and has been doing the Family and Friends support group this whole time. She is extremely reliable. She will never drop the ball on you. She cares about the families that attend her support group. She will, even during the week, if a support group member needs some advice or some help, she will work with those families individually.
It is very rewarding for me to know that I am providing a place of comfort and community for parents that are in great distress. I love to watch the parents as they learn new coping skills and understanding and feeling more confident in dealing with difficult family issues.
As parents of two daughters that struggled with eating disorders, we decided to get involved with EDRC and its support group to try to help other parents that are going through this right now.
We wish that we had had a support group similar to the support group that Nancy has started. She has been involved with this on and off since 2007, and she has the patience, the wisdom, and a wealth of information that has helped countless other people.
Nancy is a very empathetic person. She has been in the same situation where loved ones in her family were suffering from an eating disorder, and she understands what it's like. So she will, she can get on the same level with these people, and really they feel hurt when they come to her support group.
I'll be here for the families and the parents for a long time to come. It's all about them.
Congratulations, Nancy. Carolyn Burback and Ali Pirtle, Oakwood School.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. And I'm Ali, and we wrote a magazine about mental health for our school and community called The Stigma.
Our articles mainly focus around debunking the stigmas about mental health itself, but also other issues such as racism and LGBTQ+, because those stigmas can often damage the outlook people have on these subjects and can cause strain on student life. And it's interesting when it comes from a POV of a student because it really reaches to the audience, which is other students at our school.
So the both of us, we both struggle with our mental health, and we feel that our school, their approach to educating and assisting students who are having the same issues could be improved.
And then earlier this year, for the first time, we saw a student wellness club, and we had never seen any kind of resource like that before at our school, and we were all over that, so we joined it. And in the beginning, I emailed the principal, can we start a magazine maybe? And he was like, sure, but it's a big project. So of course, I tagged my best friend, and together we started working, and now we have a few issues out already.
So our principal, Mark Newton, approached me last fall with a proposal from two students. They wanted to create a student-run magazine focused on mental health, removing the stigma from seeking mental health and improving the wellness of our student body. When I asked him who the students were, and he told me Carolyn and Ali, I didn't hesitate for a moment. I knew that of any students on our campus, Carolyn and Ali were exactly the right pick to head something like this. They would approach it with empathy, humor, and insight. And in the 3 editions they've produced so far, they've done exactly that.
There was a student who read the magazine, and they liked it so much in terms of what it spread that they printed out all 30 pages and they showed it to their parents, and they shoved it in their parents' laps like, read it, you know? And they said that it started conversations in their house that they had never had before. And I thought that was really great that it started a conversation, because that's the whole point. And not just a conversation, but like a healthy one where they knew what to talk about and how to talk about and go about it.
So ever since the first edition was released in late fall, students have been eagerly awaiting each new edition. Students have approached me talking about the conversations it's opened up in their families, the ease at which they feel comfortable talking to their teachers about their needs and accommodations, and simply a culture shift that I've seen here on campus regarding these issues. Parents have contacted the school, thanking us for talking about these issues and making it comfortable for them to discuss them with their children. Families have looked at the resources and the links available in the magazine, and they've sought out help for their students for the first time. Overall, I'd say that Carolyn and Ali have been incredibly brave in writing the way that they have, in admitting to their own personal struggles, and to recognizing the needs in their fellow classmates.
I hope in the future that the Stigma magazine, it may not be read by many classes that are coming up from like elementary per se, but the things it's starting to begin at our school will stay forever, and then that will help the kids before us, because our magazine, as we said right now, it's starting to cause a lot of changes in how teachers talk to us and in how people who own the school are starting to implement different systems that help kids and provide resources. And though our magazine might not be as present in their lives, those things will be there for them when they get here to high school, where it's really needed, and that's what I hope happens.
Congratulations, Carolyn and Ali. Rick LaRue, International Rescue Committee in San Jose.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I am the Volunteer and Donations Coordinator for the International Rescue Committee in San Jose. The IRC's mission is to help those whose lives have been shattered by conflict and disaster survive, recover, and regain control of their future.
I was first associated or introduced to the IRC through my son. My son went to San Diego State University, and in his freshman year, he had the opportunity to volunteer someplace, and he ended up volunteering at the IRC in San Diego. And I think it was like a 12-week volunteer program where he went once a week, but he actually fell in love with the IRC. So he started going there past his community service commitment. And he actually kept going there in his sophomore year. This was about 8 or 9 years ago. And in the summer of 2016, my son Richard passed on. He, unfortunately, there was an accident and he passed on. And I know that he got so much joy out of volunteering at the IRC and what he was doing to help people that I wanted to try and take some of that and continue his legacy by being involved with the IRC up here in San Jose.
So, Rick is the type of volunteer that any nonprofit would love to have. He goes above and beyond what is expected of him all the time, and he also creates opportunities for himself to make even more of an impact for our beneficiaries.
Over the time that I've been working with my mentee, our relationship has really evolved into one where I could also advocate for my mentee and his family. In fact, I've been able to help his little brother. We've done some reading sessions together. His younger brother is 2nd or 3rd grade. We've read books together. We got the same books, and then he would read a page, I would read a page. We did that several times. Also, it's been an opportunity for me to be a voice for him and his family, meaning when there have been things that maybe they weren't sure about, I've been able to circle back with the IRC and make sure they get the answers that they needed.
As newcomers to this country, our clients often face difficulties breaking into the workforce. Seeing this problem, Rick has taken it upon himself to create an IRC internship program within his own company, which will really help IRC's clients find their footing and make them more competitive for future opportunities they pursue.
We worked on an assignment together that helped me to just gain a great appreciation for his passion and his grit and everything that it took for he and his family to get here. He shared with me the story of how he and his older sister had to basically walk for 2 days plus to get out of his country, to leave his country, and to get to a safe place, to a safe encampment where he was able to stay there for a while before later coming to the U.S. So just the intensity of that experience and how he shared that with me just gives me a great deal of admiration and appreciation for him as an individual and for all refugees who are, who have to leave their country or have been in harm's way for a variety of reasons. It's just been a humbling experience to work with my mentee and to be associated with the IRC. And I am definitely committed to continuing to support and volunteer to the IRC in my son's memory and in his legacy. And I look forward to continuing that for the foreseeable future.
Congratulations, Rick. Jan and Lee Hurd, County of Santa Clara Foster Program.
Hi, I'm Jan Hurd.
And I'm Lee Hurd, and we're a resource family for the County of Santa Clara. What that means is we're a foster family, and we take in, not on a permanent basis, but children that the county has deemed in need of a place to live for a period of time. We specialize in babies, and the reason is, I guess, is because my wife and I both love babies, and they don't talk back and they don't walk.
Jan and Lee are a very unique couple, taking on being foster parents in the last 7 years. And what I love about them the most is that they have an open door policy. They have no agenda. Their heart and desire is to care for every child in their home, and they treat every single child as part of the family.
We got a call. Social worker said, "We have a baby for you." I said, "We don't even have a license." "Yes, you do. You got it yesterday." And so we ended up with a baby the first day. Since then, we've had about probably over 25 to 30 babies. There have been occasions where we've had more than one, and even one time we had 4.
February 12th, 2020 was the beginning of the worst week of my life. My 6-week-old son woke up with a limp arm, and after racing to the emergency room, we were notified it was broken. I screamed, "How could this happen? What happened?" After many hours of additional tests, we were told that my son had several broken ribs in addition to the arm fracture. I threw up. I screamed. I cried. How did this happen? On Valentine's Day, CPS arrived at the hospital and notified us they were taking custody of both of our children. 6 days slowly passed before we were allowed to visit our children, and that's when I met Jan and Lee. I thank God, and still do, for Jan and Lee. They have devoted their lives to helping these babies who need all the love they can while they're away from their parents, and I am forever grateful to them for protecting my babies from the traumatic experience we were living through.
I love working with the families and the relatives. It just gives me a sense of I'm doing something with a purpose in life, and I'm giving the babies their wings. We got a foster child, and he came from the hospital, and I talked to the grandmother in Alaska, and I stayed in contact with her, and she said that she wanted to adopt him. So with all the paperwork with the county and everything, it took a long time. So we had him for almost 6.5 months. And the social worker said, well, he's going to his grandparents to Alaska, get him ready to go. And I said, well, you haven't seen him more than an hour. I said, I'm gonna get my money together or my prize points or whatever, and I'm going with you. So we took this little boy to Alaska to his grandparents, and it was so rewarding. They just had open arms. Gives you a reason to get up in the morning and just keep moving. And those happy smiles in the crib when you go in to get them out of the crib in the morning, it just makes your day.
That's it. That's the reward.
Congratulations, Jan and Lee. Ruth McDunn, Wildlife Center of Silicon Valley.
Hi, my name is Michael Chen, and I am the volunteer coordinator at the Wildlife Center of Silicon Valley. The Wildlife Center of Silicon Valley seeks to provide sick, injured, and orphaned wildlife with exceptional free care, rehabilitation, and the opportunity for release. We also seek to educate the public about coexisting peacefully with local wildlife.
Hi, my name is Ruth McDunn. I am a volunteer here at the Wildlife Center. I've been here for almost 10 years. And I work with all the animals, but I specialize in the predatory mammals, which are the rabies vector species. I manage the facility maintenance. I keep track of what needs to be done and help get it done. So we have the room, the enclosures to take care of all the animals. I also do a bunch of computer stuff and videos and things for development.
Ruth is more than a volunteer to us. She is basically part of our WCSV family. She's been with the organization since practically the beginning of its existence. And what she's contributed over the years is really hard to list just in one small soundbite. She does everything for us, and her commitment, though, overall to a center is what I'm most impressed about. Whenever we need something, she is always there. It can be last minute, and we can count on her. She is the most dependable person, and she loves the animals, and everything she does for us is for the good of the animals.
So Ruth McDunn has been an exceptional volunteer for us. She has taken the initiative to learn how to work with the toughest patients or the most difficult patients, such as the predatory mammals and the raptors. And even though I know it's a little bit tougher to take on, she has also taken a leadership role with our facility repairs, repairing anything inside and outside that might be wrong with our facility. She's also brought her exceptional computer skills to help us out with fundraising, making videos, and working on our newsletter.
We had a den of coyotes that were being monitored on a piece of property in Almaden. I think there were 5 coyotes in the nest, and the property owner had been monitoring them and found that the mother had been killed by a car. So some people from here and from the animal control went down and literally crawled into the den to get the coyotes out of there. And we successfully raised them, and we were able to release them way up in the Santa Cruz Hills at a beautiful location, and it was a beautiful release. And it was so gratifying to be able to get from the dead mama all the way to be able to release them and be there at the release.
Ruth has other things going on in her life, but she makes us a priority. So it goes without saying that we are incredibly grateful, and we're incredibly proud of her and so happy that she was able to be one of the award winners this year.
When you first start, they like to get you out doing, the squirrels and the possums and things that are easy to release, because when you can see the full circle, it's very gratifying. I think the first release I went on was a Cooper's hawk, and I had some photography experience, and so they wanted me to come and take pictures at the release, and it was a big one. We had all sorts of people there. The news people were there and everything. It had been in care for at least a year, I think, and I got some really lousy pictures because I found out it's hard to take pictures of raptors as they release because they go fast. But it was that the bird left the hands of the handler, flew up, circled a couple times, and then went off. And I see that often. The animals will look back at you, and then they'll turn around and go, or they will circle if they're flying. And it happens so often that I got to think there's some intention there. They're thanking us, or I don't know. I like to think that they're thanking us for the work that we do.
Congratulations, Ruth. Quinn, Nguyen, Evergreen Valley College Service, Learning in Public Service.
My name is Marjorie Clark and I work at Evergreen Valley College. I work as a counselor and psychology instructor, and I founded the Women and Gender Studies program and the Service Learning and Public Service program. Our mission in the Service Learning and Public Service program is to prepare students for lifelong civic engagement. We hope that they learn to be active members of their communities in order to create a more equitable and sustainable world.
Hi, my name is Quinn Nguyen, and I'm a student at Evergreen Valley College, and I'm studying biological sciences, aiming to go into the medical field. So growing up, my dad would always tell me how he would move from Vietnam to America with little to nothing in his hands, and every night he always reminded me how grateful I am to be living under a roof and to never worry about my next meal. And he said with this blessing, I should carry it on and provide for others, help for others, be there for others. And this impression carried on with me throughout my life. And I realized when I can go into the medical field, this is where I can lead and help others as well.
In March of 2020, we got notice from the administration that we were going to be sheltering in place. It was my responsibility to contact all of our community partners and students who were out volunteering to let them know that they could no longer volunteer on site. We were scrambling to find virtual volunteer opportunities for them and contacting the students, and it was during this time that Quinn was volunteering at Kaiser and they were no longer accepting on-site volunteers. Later on, it came to my attention that Quinn and her friends had started Hope Hearted, an organization that was dedicated to finding resources and supplies for homeless population and for food banks. I thought this was really amazing, that during this time of great uncertainty and great suffering around the world, when so many had turned inward and were thinking about how to manage their anxiety by baking bread, by making banana bread, and binge watching on Netflix and Zooming, all kinds of activities, that this young woman and her friends were focused on recognizing that there was great need out there in the community.
So while I was a volunteer coordinator at O'Connor Hospital, I saw the need with the unhoused women at O'Connor Hospital, and that was where we provided feminine hygiene products to them. And at one of our packaging events, I met one of our volunteers, Asavri, and she came up to me and she had a very similar idea where we wanted to provide sanitary products throughout the Bay Area. And that was where we banded together along with 2 like-minded volunteers to found Hope Hearted. So we have raised over $10,000 through grants and donations. We have distributed over 500 kits, and we have expanded our volunteer base to over 150 people. And our impact has expanded all the way from San Francisco down to Watsonville. So with all of our accomplishments within the last few months of Hope Hearted, it's been a truly humbling experience for me to just be with my unhoused neighbors and to provide for them. And it just brings it all back to what my dad was saying as to how I can help others and I can provide for others.
Congratulations, Quinn. Srobona Sengupta, Sunday Friends.
Sunday Friends empowers very low-income families in San Jose to break the generational cycle of poverty. And we do that by learning programs that provide life skills and self-development and care for the community that we're serving.
Hi, my name is Srobona Sengupta, and I've been volunteering with Sunday Friends since middle school.
But long before her COVID mission for us, she started as a volunteer in junior high and has kept with it. And her volunteerism has gone from helping out at our in-person programs to being just this absolute amazing fundraiser during COVID for Sunday Friend.
When the pandemic started, I noticed how difficult doing school from home was. I myself was having Wi-Fi issues and was getting frustrated by doing school at home. So because of this, I contacted Sunday Friends and we did a survey, and we found out that almost 80% of the families there lost their jobs during COVID and did not even receive any unemployment benefits. And they were doing school and their jobs from home just on a cell phone. So I really wanted to help these children as well as the parents out by starting a fundraiser by raising $15,000 to purchase 50 laptops. So I discovered how to bake macarons for a blog post that I was going to do for Mother's Day. And through that blog post, I found that I can make macarons even though it's really difficult to make. And the very first time, I actually was able to make like perfect macarons. So that really motivated me to keep on going and keep baking. And eventually my friends and my family wanted to purchase from me. So I thought this would be a great idea to raise money since so many people are interested. And this whole process has helped me establish my own business and help me learn sort of the ins and outs on how to do the business and how to, market everything and how to interact with people. So I knew that this was the way to go in order to raise the complete $15,000.
Srobona is an exceptional student. She's not just ticking off the boxes to fill out her college application, her resume for college to say, look, I did great in academics, I did my volunteer service, I did sports, I did all these things that high schoolers have to do now. Her service to Sunday Friends, her amazing fundraiser, is coming from a deep passion, a deep commitment to serve our families and to make a difference in her community, to make a difference in our community, to make a difference in the lives of families who have really struggled, but with the help of the community are being raised up.
I truly loved, the sense of family that was created in Sunday Friends, and that's very important to me because whenever I go back to India, family is the most important thing to me, and I always hang out with my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, so then seeing sort of that same environment when I volunteer with Sunday Friends is just really comforting and just amazing to see. Whenever I go back to India, I make sure to, give back to the community by going to an organization over there called Treasures of Innocence, where I watch and help the kids over there who also are in need of, resources for education. So sometimes I love to raise money on my own and even donate to that organization so that those kids back in India can also get a jump start on their education as well, like the kids over here at Sunday Friends. I believe that volunteering is truly a really big part of me, and it's something that I'll make sure to carry forward for the rest of my life.
Congratulations, Srobona. Winifred Schultz-Krohn, Family Supportive Housing.
Hi, I'm Beth Leary. I'm the Executive Director at Family Supportive Housing. Family Supportive Housing has been around for 35 years, serving families in our community. We provide shelter and supportive services and housing opportunities for families who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless.
Well, my name is Winifred Schultz-Krohn, but I never go by that. I go by Win or Dr. Win to my students. And I've been a professor at San Jose State University for over 25 years. And my everyday life is not only teaching students to become occupational therapists, but one of my my big loves, or what feeds my heart, is working with individuals at Family Supportive Housing, along with helping students work at Family Supportive Housing with learning to be occupational therapists. 21 years ago, my students came to me and I just made a connection, and it was, I have just loved it. And it's a place where there's such a great need for occupational therapy. And just like Family Supportive Housing says yes to all their families, they've said yes to every occupational therapy project I've presented.
As soon as the school year is over, we are so grateful for Dr. Nguyen and her team, who comes in and spends the whole summer here. 2 of her occupational therapists who are here full-time under her supervision to keep the children engaged and to keep them learning. And Dr. Nguyen is amazing. She knows our population, she knows the struggles that they go through, and she tailors everything she does to help them thrive and learn when they don't even know they're learning.
One family this past summer was particularly memorable, and it was a situation where a mother and her 2 teenage boys came to the shelter. But one of the things that this mother shared was how much it was so difficult for her to be homeless, and knowing that her children had been housed and feeling that somehow she had failed them. But she wound up at the shelter and she came to occupational therapy. And at first it was to try and help her to work with some of her grief and some of her depression and some of her issues. But she also asked for us to provide services for her 2 teenage sons. And what happened with the mom and the 2 sons and the 2 interns, the 2 graduate OT interns and myself, is that we actually formed kind of a family of our own. And it was at the end when the interns were finishing and I had to return to school, so I wouldn't be able to spend nearly the time at the shelter. And they said, "You really became our family here." And it was one of those things that, those kind of experiences, I just feel so honored to have that opportunity at Family Supportive Housing. Having that opportunity, that family probably has no idea how much they enriched my life.
The quality of her programming and the impact she had on the children every year, the children just love going to summer camp with Dr. Nguyen and her OTs. It's amazing how much fun they have and how much they learn.
The students that have either done their internships or have done research at the shelter, now they're contacting me and they're saying, "Dr. Nguyen, I'm in Phoenix, but I want to start doing OT at a shelter." Or, "Dr. Nguyen, I'm down in Santa Barbara and there's a shelter that I've been doing some volunteering, but I want to start OTs coming here. How do I do that?" And they're really thinking about how, as an occupational therapist, it's important to give back and give to those who might not be able to afford occupational therapy services.
Congratulations, Winifred. Carrie Venstra, Santa Clara Valley Science and Engineering Fair Association.
Our fear, repeated over and over again, has been, what are we going to do if Carrie is hit by a bus? So over the last 25 plus years, Carrie has done so many things for our association. He has reconstructed the website. He has improved our award ceremony. He has kept data so that we can show that kids have participated on their name tags in the fair for years.
A coworker told me that the regional science fair needed some judges, and since I'm an engineer, I thought that I could do that, and so I signed up. And when I got there, I was assigned to judge middle school botany, and I expressed concern that it wasn't my area of training. And I was told by the organizer, "It's plants. They have roots. They have stems. You'll do fine." And I did have fun judging the students' projects. I remembered about transpiration and things like that as we went through. And at the end, I was hooked.
There's over 1,000 students who participate from private and public schools, and we're very proud that our students win lots of prizes.
I've benefited from a public school education from kindergarten to college, and I recognize that not all public school education is the same, and one of my goals and one of the science fair goals is to help ensure that students of every demographic get an opportunity to participate in and benefit from an experience with a regional science fair.
So he has made us a fair that is streamlined and efficient and well organized in a overtime manner, really being able to keep that data and make use of it. And anytime we make a change to the fair, Carrie goes through and does his magic and his math, and he considers how many students is this going to affect? How many teachers is this going to affect? If we increase the number of students who get awards, can we fit all their parents in the award ceremony? Everything that we change, he very thoughtfully goes through and makes sure that it's going to be something that we can really accomplish in the time that we have and the space that we have allotted. The really remarkable thing about Carrie is that he's been able to accomplish all of this changes for the 2021 fair after losing his home and all of his equipment that he would usually be using for these processes. Not only is he supporting our fair, but he has been supporting his own community that also lost their homes in the Santa Cruz Mountains with the fires. And through all of the construction and demolition processes, he's a remarkable individual.
I don't think I'll ever tire or retire from seeing the excitement of students learning about science and engineering. There will always be another student to inspire.
Congratulations, Carrie. Tia Tran Fong, Sunday Friends.
Sunday Friends empowers families to rise out of poverty and take hold of opportunity. And we do that by providing support, education, and empowerment in a very supportive and encouraging community.
Hi, my name is Tia Tran Huang, and I've been volunteering with Sunday Friends for almost 2 years now. Back when I was a sophomore, I had a requirement for my child development class where I had to complete 20 hours of service learning.
Every year we have hundreds of volunteers at Sunday Friends who are all amazing and make tremendous commitments to serve our families. But one of the great qualities of Tia was that not only did she and does she have a passion for what Sunday Friends does, she has cultivated personal relationships with the families in our programs.
After the 20 hours, I literally thought that I would just never come back. I remember it was my last day after completing 20 hours, and there was 1 or 2 family members that came up to me and they were like, "Oh, see you, bye, see you next week." And I couldn't bear to tell them that I wasn't coming back because I already completed my 20 hours. So eventually I decided to just come back. It was 1 or 2 weeks, and then I would be like, okay, I'm gonna tell the family members that I'm gonna stop volunteering. But eventually it just became a habit, and every Sunday I would be like, okay, today's Sunday, I'm going to the Sunday Friends program.
The education piece is a very important part of what we do. Prior to COVID, we did that in a gathering of hundreds of people at local elementary schools on Sundays when families and volunteers and staff would gather together, and we would have up to 300 people in a school cafeteria, which of course came to a screeching halt as the lockdown began and the pandemic became much bigger than anything we've ever seen before in our lives.
When COVID hit, everything was moved online, and then I became a Zoom presentation organizer. So what that is, I would just contact presenters, facilitate meetings, schedule meetings. I would sit in, kind of take attendance, make sure that the presentation was moving along. And it's really fun because even though it's online and not all family members have their cameras on, but you know, you go through the list of participants and then you see, you know, old people, you see new people, and you kind of just recognize them and then they recognize you. So it's still connecting even though not in person. but you guys kind of still see each other and they still get to see my face because I'm always on camera, taking attendance and answering the questions in the chat. So that's nice.
Tia started with us to fulfill community service requirements with her program at San Jose State University. But her heart is so big for the people around her that she just fell in love with our parents and with our kids, and they fell in love back with her. And that's a special quality to have in a volunteer. We're so grateful to have Tia, to have her heart, to have her passion, to have her smile.
It makes me feel like I'm a trusted person instead of just a volunteer, even if it's only for one day a week, but it lets me know that I am making an impact in their life, and that's really what matters. I intend to continue volunteering as Sunday Friends because it's become such a big part of my life and a habit that I would not want to break.
Congratulations, Tia. What an incredible group of volunteers. Thank you to our Crystal Bowl winners for sharing your inspiring stories. Since 1998, the Junior League of San Jose has awarded the Volunteerism at its Best Award to one Crystal Bowl winner whose spirit and dedication stand out as extraordinary. In keeping with tradition, the Volunteerism as its Best Award winner is not unveiled until today's event. We will share who our winner is shortly. The winner of this award will receive a framed certificate and a $1,000 stipend for their agency or organization. Every year, the judges, I know they really struggle to choose a winner, and this year, of course, was no different. The class of 2021 Crystal Bowl winners, really, truly extraordinary. It is my pleasure to announce this year's Volunteerism at its Best Award recipients. Congratulations, Carolyn Burback and Ali Pirtle from Oakwood School. In previous years, we've invited the winner and their agency back on stage to say a few words. As we are virtual this year, the winner was notified just prior to the event, and we have a few words from them now.
Yeah, and I think something about the impact. So I pulled up some of the comments that we've gotten, and I can read them or I can screen share them. I don't know what's better.
Okay, so that would be great, and I would actually like that. But I have kind of told a little white lie because what I actually have you here for is to let you know that the judges met and they have Carolyn and Ali as their Volunteerism at its Best Award winners.
Yay! That's awesome. Good. So, that is well deserved, girls. Yay! All of us at Oakwood are so thrilled that Ali and Carolyn have been given this wonderful honor. Stigma was born from the creative, brilliant minds of two students who saw a need in our community and lent their talents and time to address it. We are so happy. Thank you.
We are so incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to win this award, especially among the other amazing candidates who have done so much for this community.
And we're also really excited to use the money to hopefully install a mini library full of books on mental health and expand the resources beyond our own magazine for the school as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks to the Junior League of San Jose for honoring volunteers in our community. And many thanks and congratulations to all of the wonderful volunteers, their families, and friends. We will see you next year. Fingers crossed, it'll be in person at the 53rd Annual Volunteer Recognition Luncheon. Thanks for having me be part of your day, and have a great rest of your afternoon.
This is your moment.